days. That's how we set this all up. As far as, let's get into this targeted outreach campaigns that we're talking about here. Again, this is all we're talking about today, is how we're going to drive leads. How do we get more qualified people in front of our staff so we can convert more sales? The first targeted outreach, and this is all going to be by email. So all going to be things that we can, we were talking earlier about sort of email marketing or things you could do online. Even if you don't have a customer relationship management software, you can drop these things into your Outlook. There's always some way to get an emailer out to your active membership base. So the first thing we'll talk about is setting up the complimentary session, right? This is one of our biggest sales tools, giving someone this complimentary session, a chance to kick the tires, and then being able to present the service afterwards. So, when are we going to send this out? We need to put together a complimentary email, we need to put together an email offering this complimentary session to our active and inactive membership base. So all of your members that are coming to the club right now, but also to the members who may not have been using the club. And this is always sort of a dicey subject with health club owners, because especially the ones who are in the membership business, because they're afraid to wake the sleeping giant. Like, they don't want to piss off the guy or remind somebody that, like, oh, you're still paying for gym membership? Oh, I forgot about that until I got this email. Now I'm going to cancel my membership. So I believe if you're in the fitness business, you care about these people and you want to see them come use the club, because when they use it and have a positive experience either with this complimentary session that you're offering, or they get back and re-engage with the club, they're going to tell someone else. And you're going to get someone in the same demographic as them signing up for the club, and you'll have that referral. So the first thing is we have to email all of our active and inactive members to take a complimentary session with the trainers on our staff. A lot of places probably do this already. If you're not doing it, we need to do this. So you're sending it. If you're currently doing this, that's great. If these guys are doing, I imagine these guys are on this thing, knocking this thing out every day. If you're not, we need to get this bulk thing out. Now you have to understand that you have to have the staff to accommodate that also. If you send 1,200 emails out tomorrow to your active and inactive membership base, do you have the manpower to accommodate that if you get a 5% return on that email, or maybe an 8% return on email? Do you have? So these are things you have to think about also. But getting that out. So anybody that isn't price presented to or spoken to and set up for a complimentary session at the point of sale during membership needs to be emailed the next day. If you come in, some software reporting will send you a list of every member that joined yesterday. Now, if these guys are on top of things and they're in the office when people join, maybe 6 people joined yesterday, these guys spoke to 4 because they're in there, they're on top of everything. They get the 2 people that they didn't meet because maybe they came in at 9, 10 o'clock at night and joined, and these guys went home already, then those people need to be emailed the next day. We're emailing them, and then within 24 hours, we're following up with a call. Did you receive the email that I sent you about the complimentary session? Let's get you going. What I'd like to do in the emails is go a little heavy on qualifying questions in the email. Not just this robotic, hey, come take your complimentary session, so you just joined the club, that's great. It's not the most, we're not creating any dialogue with that. So I'll embed questions in the email to people to sort of create some dialogue to get a better understanding of who's on the other end of that. So it could be anything from, what are the times and days that best suit you to come into the club? Have you ever worked with a trainer before? It's a critical question that we ask everybody. When I first meet people on the gym floor, one of the first questions I ask people is, have you ever worked with a trainer? Now, what I want to gain from that, after they answer me, is if so, if they've worked with a trainer, what did they like, what didn't they like? Because if we just set these people up indiscriminately and someone says, oh, I want to come in Tuesday, Thursday at 7 o'clock, we just force it out there to whoever's available Tuesday, Thursday at 7 o'clock, that might not be the right match. So that's what these qualification questions are all about. Who's the better person best suited to make the sale? Who's the better person whose personality best matches what this person needs? So we're embedding all these questions. Do you have a gender preference? Do you have short-term, long-term, or life event goals? These are things you want to put in the email. In my experience, and I've been sending these emails out for probably 15 years, the people that respond back to these emails with the largest amount of information are the people who are buying your service. People take the time to do things. They want to get the right fit, right? You'll talk to people and say, I could set you up with a person that's going to be here Tuesday, Thursday at 7 o'clock, or we can take some time, let me ask you a few questions, and we can get you the person or persons that are best suited to help you with this. No one says, just give me the person Tuesday, Thursday at 7 o'clock. And if they do, is that the best, is that the hottest prospect for you? Probably not. So with this email, you want to embed these questions, because you're going to do the work anyway at some point, in qualifying this person. So put it in the email and gauge how serious they are about even taking the time to answer these questions. I get things back with paragraphs from people on their past history with training, their short-term goals, some life event they have going on, and they'll tell you all about it. And when we get those people in front of our trainers, good things happen. One, because we're finding the right match. If someone has a certain need or concern, we can put it in front of the right person. So our likelihood of closing a sale is that much greater, right, if we get the right match. And our trainers have confidence. How great of a hitter could you be if you knew a pitch was coming, right? Another reason trainers hate selling, right? They get people in front of them who aren't the right match for them. People come in, their manager gives them a lead and says, oh, you're working tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Hey, this guy wants to do his comp session. Maybe we don't know if he wants a male or female. We don't know all these different things about them. We have to set our trainers up to be successful. We don't just, give them who's available in their time slot. So that's what this is all about, qualifying these people, making sure we have the right matches for everybody. Your trainers will have confidence. It's funny when I go into these clubs and people, you start really qualifying these leads and putting a high amount of time or a large amount of time into qualifying, getting the right matches for people. The trainers all of a sudden are like, I'm the best salesperson in the world. I'm like, yeah, we're giving you the right people. No one wants to hear no all the time. You give your trainers the wrong prospects enough times, they hear no enough times. How great is their confidence? It's awful. And how do you win that person back? They don't trust you as a manager or a health club owner to find the right people for them. They lose confidence in themselves. Now you've got this dejected person. They're not making any money, which doesn't make them any happier. And this whole thing snowballs. It's all about the qualification process, getting the right matches. So when you send this comp offering out, my suggestion would be include some qualifying questions in there to start the process, to create some dialogue. And then they're going to take it from there. You can say, here's this person. They want to work at times that suit you. They have these needs that you can meet. Give them a call and further qualify them. Spend more time with them. Build a relationship in the confirmation call. Tonight, so when you see them tomorrow, you feel like you have a good rapport. They see that you have this competency to help them, and you've created this dialogue. So that's important. If you just send something out that says, take your comp session, give us a call, what's the likelihood that people are going to respond to that? Probably not very great. We get hundreds of emails a day, all of us, and we choose the ones that are important to respond back to. So I think that's critical, putting those qualifying questions in there to help drive your new business. The second thing that I'll look at in terms of those targeted outreach emails is going after our former PT clients. It's sort of a quality control email back out to people who used to train. These people bought personal training at some point. They thought this was a good idea. At some point, they had a goal they wanted to accomplish. They thought this was a good idea. So my question is, why don't they purchase any longer? And I don't believe it's price. Because when people have the money to purchase at some point, they'll find a way to purchase it again if it holds value. So I don't necessarily believe it's always price. I always assume it's something the health club's done a poor job of in terms of customer service. The trainer may have done something poorly as well. So we want to reach out to these people. If you did nothing tomorrow but reached out to every single former personal training client and asked them simply, did you enjoy, how did you enjoy your sessions? And we start to sort of quality control question. We can create a dialogue again and re-engage them. So if you have to send this by email, the same way we put those qualifying questions in the email to drive new business, when we go after our former PT clients, we want to put quality control or more quality control questions, ask them about their experience. Simple stuff. May I ask how you enjoyed your sessions? Do you feel that the personal trainer you were teamed up with was best suited to meet your goals? Now if you're not qualifying people prior to this, maybe not, right? Were there any schedule conflicts that made it difficult to work out with the trainer that as much as you would have liked? you're cutting down your frequency, and we're going to go into some things later, talk about how to open up that training frequency with people, but there's plenty of times where trainers don't have as many available hours to train as the people want to train and become sort of dissatisfied with the whole service. So that's something simple to ask them. Ask them flat out, did the service meet your expectation? In terms of the price point. Everything we do should exceed the price point. Were you on the path, or had you reached your short-term and long-term goals? They clearly subscribed to this service for a reason. They had a goal in mind when they spent that money. What changed? Did they meet their goals and they stepped away from it? If that's the case, then we have to do some coaching with our trainers and say, well, look, you need to work on being able to redefine goals. People don't stop training when they reach their goal. We just redefine new ones for them. We don't just let people go on their way. You lost 15 pounds, that's awesome. So we'll never see you again. Great. I'm happy you did well. No, we're going to redefine something else for you. And trainers need to be able to do that as well. Ask people flat out, did you discontinue the personal training service because of the price point? If price is truly why they discontinued the service, if you have a compensation structure or a tier structure for your trainers, could you take a trainer or a client who is training with a high-tier trainer and say, well, look, I can understand being sensitive to price. What if we were to sit down, have another conversation with you, and set you up with someone who is maybe of a lower tier or a lower price point to get you back in? If you're sensitive to price, we can make that work for you. But we have to have the conversation. Don't just walk away because you think it's expensive. We have options. There's a way we can, but we have to talk about it. So I would put those things in this email, this quality control email to your former clients. Ask people flat out at the end of it, would you try a complimentary session with another trainer? Put it out there. What's the likelihood? If it comes back, there's another opportunity to have that business come back to you. So those are sort of probably 6 of the questions that I load into these former PT client quality control emails, and because I want to get the answer to why these people thought training was a good idea once, and then all of a sudden decided I no longer want to subscribe to the service. Let's talk about the third one, which is our inactive clients. We all are clearly aware that training frequency is a critical business driver, right? If we service more sessions, we recognize that renewal revenue quicker. So having that ability to drive training frequency helps us see a larger amount of revenue monthly, weekly, daily. So the third group of people that I want to send an email to are my inactive clients. Because these are the people who are eventually going to become what I call a dormant client, which is someone who hasn't trained within 30 days. So if we don't get in touch with these people now, if you haven't trained in, let's say, a week, that week turns into 2 weeks, turns into a month. These training sessions sit. We don't train. Our frequency doesn't keep pace. We lose that renewal revenue, and the whole thing starts to snowball. So if you went into your club reporting tomorrow and ran a list of everybody who hasn't trained in a week and called them and found out the situation, or emailed them and found out what their situation is, we'd be in a much better position. Because you never know what happens, right? I could train with a trainer, and I got sick, and I took a week off. And I'm lazy, and a week turns into 2 weeks, and so on and so on. Meanwhile, I train 2-3 times a week with a trainer, so that every week that goes by, that's 3 more sessions that aren't being serviced, that aren't being trained. You're losing that renewal revenue. It's just sitting around waiting, and you're just not aggressive enough to go and ask this person, why are you not back in the club? So going after these inactive members are critical. And I always say, if you haven't seen someone train in 1 week, on that 8th day, you get on the phone, you get an email with these people, and you find out either are they on a medical, are they on vacation, or are they dead? If they're dead, we'll let them off. We'll give them a pass. If they're dead, they're allowed to take some time off. If they're on a medical, if they're on vacation, we want to know that information, right? As a fitness man, you want to know your trainers. Like, where are these clients? If you don't see someone train for a week, you want to know, why aren't they here? But you're not going to get the straight answer from your trainer, right? They're not going to tell you, you know what? I came in 15 minutes late for my client 3 times, and now she's pissed, and that's why she hasn't trained last week. They're going to go, no, she's sick. I haven't seen her in a while. I think she's got something going on. But yeah, she's got you going on. You're screwing this up, So that's important to get the answer from the client. Don't ever get the answer from your trainers. I've never been one to ask my trainers for the answer because they're not going to tell you the right answer. In the most critical cases where there's the biggest issues, you're definitely not getting the right answer, right? I showed up late. I no-showed. I canceled on them. Whatever the case is, they're not going to tell you that, right? That you're going to have to get from these inactive clients. What's the true reason why you haven't shown up in a week? So, if we could do nothing else but go in tomorrow and say, who hasn't trained in a week? We're on the phone. We're in an email to them right now. Where are you? Because I need to see that renewal revenue. I need to see this training frequency continue so I can recognize that revenue this week, this month. So that's sort of important. The fourth one that I go through is previous month's active clients that are stalled. So these are people that trained last month but now haven't trained again. Sort of somewhat similar to the last group we talked about, but they were the inactive clients haven't been around for a while. The previous month's active clients, they were just here. This is where you sort of cut this whole thing off at the pass when you find out if something's wrong. So I trained last month, but now I stopped. Why? We need to know that answer. Why? And not from the trainer. You need to call these people, email them and say, I know that you trained last month, you trained X amount of times, we want to keep you on track with your goal. Why have you been away? Why haven't you trained yet? And I typically do that on the 5th weekday of the month. It gives me 5 true business days or 5 weekdays to let these people work through the mix. Some people don't train on the weekends. They'll train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, train throughout the week. They take their weekends off. So that typically, when I say the 5th weekday of the month, for the next probably 6 months, and as far back as I've looked in the calendar, that's going to fall on the 7th of every month. So on the 7th of every month, if you have clients that have not trained, but they've trained last month, you're going to send them an email and say, where are you? I noticed you were active. I noticed you have sessions in your account. Talk to me about the quality of the service. Is everything okay? Do we need to find you someone else to train with? Are there times not working for you? Why haven't you been here? So I would, in my calendar, when I go into these clubs on the 7th of every month, that email goes out, or those phone calls are made by the fitness manager if someone hasn't trained. Also, we want to look at dormant clients with sessions. If you look into your club reporting, look at how many people have sessions but aren't using them. Those are typically the people that fell off when we didn't do these previous things correctly, right? We didn't ask the right questions about who's the best trainer or finding the best trainer for them. They had an issue with their trainer who didn't show up, this, that, or the other thing, but we didn't bother to ask because we didn't care that much. We just assumed it would work itself out. We didn't take all those necessary steps to ensure the customer service was, up to par, that the service exceeded the price point, that they were with the right person. We didn't do all those different things, and then they become our dormant clients, or someone who probably hasn't trained in about 30 days. And we need to re-engage them, but now you have to understand that these people are sort of a little taken back now, because you may not have spoken to them before, and the first time you call them, it's only because they haven't trained. So you have to be sort of delicate in the way you handle those conversations, but those calls need to be made. Again, training frequencies. This thing's sitting still. If you have someone with, 3 sessions left, and it's the 15th of the month, and that's maybe a large 24 or 48 package of training, the faster you get those people in and burn those 3 sessions, the quicker you're going to recognize that revenue again. So anybody who's dormant, who hasn't trained, they need to be called immediately. Where are you? Why aren't you coming back? We're going to set you up with someone else. Maybe a trainer left, and the clients never got reallocated. Something fell through the cracks. It happens. If you have a large staff, I don't know. But you need to get in touch with everyone who's dormant right now, who has this training package in their account but isn't using it, and find out what's going on. And again, I don't believe that happens, and I don't see that happen many times. When we do all these previous 4 things correctly, there's a less likelihood that you're going to be making that call. Where have you been? It won't happen. Also, 30, 60, 90-day inactive members. For us, the first 90 days when someone has a gym membership is critical, right? That's when they form patterns, how they're going to use the club. That's when they build relationships. They make friends within the club. They find whether they're comfortable being there. So the first 90 days are critical. I know that when I do the research on the clubs that we do the turnarounds on, the 40% of the people who buy personal training buy it in the first 90 days. They buy it because we make a good connection at the point of sale in the membership sales process. We set them up with the best match for them based on the good qualification processes that we use. We give the trainers all the necessary skills to service, price, present, and sell the service. Sell the service to these clients. So we know 40% of those people who join the club in 90 days are going to buy something. But we have to stay engaged with them. If someone doesn't use the club for 30 days as a member, we want to remind them. We're not in the membership business. We're not in the sign this contract and never show up again, and I want to hit your credit card for the next 24 months and pray to God you don't show up and don't use my equipment and wear it down so it depreciates and everything else. We're here to keep people in shape, keep them engaged, help them be successful so they tell other people what a great job we do and they show up with their friends. So if someone doesn't show up for 30 days, where are you? 60 days, now we're in trouble. 90 days, you're certainly not going to see a personal training sale. You'd be very likely, the likelihood of seeing that is slim to none. So you need to be on top of tracking this. Also, the seventh thing that we'll use a lot is content marketing. We'll ask trainers to write articles. Again, being the information agent to our people, same way we do the targeted seminars. Having our staff members, whether it's our managers, trainers, write content on different subjects for them and email blast it out to all of our members. Again, we want our trainers to be seen as a source of information. You want them to get this sort of offering that reminds them about the personal training service, but we don't sell them anything. There's no sale in that. I used to get a newsletter. I joined a gym years ago when I moved to this town, and they would send me this newsletter every month, and it was discounted coupons and all this stuff, and I'm like, no, just stop selling me. I'm good. I'm good. Don't beat me over the head with this. I want to get enough information from you and your staff that says, wow, this is for a good group of people. I can learn something from these people. You know what? I'm going to subscribe to this. I want to get something out of it. Give me information. The content marketing was huge for us, putting together newsletters, blogs, all these different things, and just saying, hey, look, here's some information. We send it out, at a set time every month. They can look to expect it. It's an email capture also, right? You could say to people, you have to give us your email address, and we'll send you when people join up at the club, hey, give us your email address, and we'll send you this newsletter every month, and it's great information. We're not selling anything. We don't discount anything, so there's no discounts on anything. There's no coupons. It's just great information. You might find something that you enjoy. It's written by our staff, so you can, we appreciate that. So if you want it, here it is. If you know anybody else who's interested in it, we'll take that too. But hopefully you have the staff that's capable of doing those things. And that goes back to that hiring process, making sure that you have the right people to represent you well and have those, are able to do those offerings for you. But I would put that out. The newsletters I think are important, or the content marketing is important. One of the really critical things that we use a lot or that I use a lot with these clubs, are the sort of trainer spotlights. I'll send emails to the entire active membership base. Or inactive, and it's a spotlight on any individual trainer that we choose. Now, my choices are made by the people who have the best follow-up, follow-through, the best business skills, the ability to get a lead, call it, confirm it, qualify it, follow up on it. They're on time for the session. The quality of the service is fantastic. They can price present well, and they can close the sale. If you can do those things, I will go into all these different health clubs, pick out the trainers that we feel have the competency to do all of that, and sometimes it's not a lot, but the ones that are capable of having that well-rounded business aptitude, we'll go in there and say, I'm going to send an email to X amount of members, and in some of these clubs, that's 5,000 members, and say, we're going to spotlight you this month. And what that means is when you send this email to whoever you send it to, whether it's your active, inactives, you can decide if you want to send it to both. It's simply a 5-sentence bio. It has to be small. People aren't going to spend all day reading this thing. So, we keep a 5-sentence bio in there, a testimonial from one current client. We want that social proof that someone subscribes to this. Someone who's active in the club right now enjoys this service and has a really good thing to say about it. So it's a 5-sentence bio. It's a testimonial, and for your trainers that have all those business skills in line, we're going to say to them, give me the available hours that you need booked in your schedule. What are the last remaining hours that you need in your schedule filled for you? Because you've done a good job closing what I've given you in terms of the comp workouts. You've done some prospecting on your own to build your business. So now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this really easy for you. I'm going to finish off, filling the rest of your schedule by doing this. And I do this, and I've been doing this at the Equinox Club that I'm doing work with every month for the last 10 months. And when I send that email out to the active and inactive membership base, the return rate on that is about 11% in terms of the leads that come through, and this is a very large active membership base. So the trainers are walking away, and usually in the first half hour, they'll get hits of about 10 to 15 leads right there. How long would it take them to accumulate 10 to 15 leads, in the traditional sense if they were just prospecting, trolling the gym floor? It would take them forever. But if you can do everything well that we ask you to do, if you could take the course content that I'm teaching and put it into play every day, I'm going to email blast 5,000 people and tell them how great you are, and these are the last available hours you need booked in your schedule, and I'm going to set you up with all those people. And they're all going to email you, and they're going to say, you know what, you have Tuesday open at 7 o'clock? I want Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Can we set that up? And they email the people directly, all of your trainers, include the email's company email address. Don't include their personal email addresses. If your trainers don't have a company email address, then you want the email address to reply back to be your managers. We don't want people giving out their cell phone numbers, their personal email addresses. Everything goes through the managers if they don't have their own company email address. You need something you can fall back on and check up on. So that's something that's huge for us. We have trainers routinely, within a matter of a week, we'll pick up 5 or 6 more clients just off of this trainer spotlight thing, saying, again, 5-sentence bio, testimonial from someone who currently trains in the club with them, the available hours that they need filled in their schedule, and either theirs or the manager's company email that they can respond to say, I'd like to take the session at one of those available times, and send it out. Same thing with promotions. When your trainers get promoted through tiers, if you have a tier system in your health club, let the membership know. We want to congratulate so-and-so for having achieved the next level, a tier level within our health club based on the fact that they've taken this course curriculum or done this, and this. Please join us in congratulating them. And by the way, if you'd like, why don't you take a complimentary session with them? Just email us back and let us know the times and days that best suit you. Let's go. Right? Same thing. So also, and the last thing I'll talk about in terms of who you should be emailing, on a monthly basis are the trainers that get new certifications. Right? We're always talking to these trainers and saying, you need to increase your knowledge base. You need to learn more. You need to be involved in specialty certifications, things that are dynamic, that we can engage people in to make them want to subscribe to this service. So what happens most times when they do it, they come back to you and they say, well, I got certified. You're like, that's great, congratulations. And that's sort of where it ends. If people take the time to invest their hard-earned money in these specialty certifications, and because we're telling them you need to do more, you need to learn more, and we're not meeting them halfway and saying, we're going to market this for you now, then we're doing a disservice to our employees. So when I go into these health clubs and I find these trainers that have specialty certifications, it's my job to market that, right? If you get certified tomorrow in TRX and you're my trainer, I need to go to the entire active membership base and say, I'm sorry, what's your name? I apologize. Dan. All right, cool. So I have to send an email to the entire membership base and say, you just want to congratulate Dan on getting TRX certified. It's a fantastic opportunity to do this. These are the benefits of TRX. If you'd like to take a complimentary session with him, he's your guy. Go get him. And email this, blast this out to all his members. Right? We get people who subscribe to it all the time. There's going to be people who are not going to open it. There's going to be people who are going to say, I don't find TRX, the benefits of TRX to be for me. But we're going to find with a large enough blast that there's going to be people that are going to get in front of you in the next few days based on that. So when a trainer takes the time to invest in something, education-wise, make sure your entire membership base knows about it. It's an easy way. It's an easy way. They're doing all the work, right? They're investing the money in the certification. They're taking the time to take the certification. All you're doing is putting together an email that says, they've done all this, and here's the benefits of it. Please email them or email our management staff to set up the complimentary session. So these are all opportunities through email that you can use tomorrow. There's none of this is something that you have to really spend a lot of time, trying to figure out how you're going to do it, right? Your club reporting gives you most of the information on some level. And I've gotten in clubs that their club reporting is a binder. It's not a CRM management software system. So I've had to do this with clubs that are literally working on like a 3-ring binder. So you're going to have the information to go after, again, all those people who should take the comp session, which is everybody, all your active, inactive members, your former PT clients, right? The people who subscribe to the service but don't any longer for whatever reason. We want to figure that out. Your inactive clients, the people who've been away for 1 week or longer, who we need to find out why they haven't continued with the service. Your previous month's active clients, that's the 4th group. The people who were training last month but for some reason fell off on the 7th of every month. You want to send them an email if they haven't trained yet. Where are you? The 5th one was, again, your dormant clients with sessions. People who have invested in this service for whatever reason have decided that they've taken some time away from it. We need to figure out why that is, get them re-engaged. Your 30, 60, 90-day inactive members, not clients, but members. The content marketing is something that that's going to take you longer, but the previous 6 we could do this weekend. And again, those trainer spotlights, putting that together, the bio, the testimonial, the available hours the trainer needs filled, and sending that email out to have them do a comp session with that person. Any promotions you have in the club, and anybody who's been newly certified in any specialty certification. You can send all of those things out. You can put those emails together in an evening and have that out by Monday morning, I'd imagine. So that's the lead capture options. If we did all that, does it make sense that we could get more people in front of our trainers? Any questions?